Gargoyles were used on cathedrals before drain pipes in the 12th through the 17th century in Europe. These are featured at the Biltmore Estate. They acted as water pipes, water spouts, and supposedly had special powers in warding off evil spirits. When Paul was in Ephesus, there were others who would take on his special powers without believing it, and they would say, in the name of Jesus, I command you to come out. In one instance, in Acts chapter 19, verse 14, the evil spirit answered back, saying, I know Jesus, but who are you? And then the man that spirit was in jumped on them and battered them so that they left the house without their clothes. My story is much more tame and involves just one gargoyle on a bedpost. He didn't drive away evil unless you consider the spirit of my granddad's snoring. Sometimes I would spend the night at my grandparents' in their big bedroom and have to endure the terrible snoring of my granddad. Moving to the next room still didn't help. Only when I was brave enough to go upstairs and see the gargoyle bed and get in the bedclothes of it did I have a peaceful night's sleep. When I became a father, my parents were downsizing, and my having 3 kids had them offer the gargoyle bed so that they would just have one brass bed in their guest room. My family readily took on the gargoyle bed, and my daughter Frances enjoyed peaceful night sleeps until she moved out. That's when my daughter Chloe was anxious for that bigger bedroom and the gargoyle bed. But sometimes she would complain of not getting a good night's sleep. Sometimes I would see her on the floor in the morning with the sheets and the pillows, and I suspected that maybe the gargoyle had given her a fright during the night. When Chloe moved out of our house, away from that gargoyle bed, she was a newlywed. But for the first 3 weeks, they only got by on an air mattress. I conferred with my parents, and they were agreeable to giving up the brass bed for the gargoyle bed. My daughter Chloe was anxious to help load up the brass bed into the U-Haul, and we took it on to their apartment in Arden, then came back to our house and loaded up the gargoyle bed and took it to her grandparents. I knew then the gargoyle bed was right where it belonged. That was in my mom's guest room. She would go in and reminisce about being in the watchful care of her parents and that gargoyle bed.